I was driving the camera truck, and on the 5th night, I crashed the camera truck roof, splitting a hole in the dark room in the parking garage of Claremont Camera.
I actually never had a PA job. I had a second AC job. Half the crew got food poisoning, so then I got bumped up to first.
They sent me in the studio truck to Home Depot to go rent a floor sander. They wrote the directions by hand on a piece of paper because this was like pre-Google Maps or whatever, and I didn't know that Sepulveda split into two, and I got lost for like 3.5 hours, and when I came back, the only people left at the lot were the executives standing around waiting to see if I just like stole the truck. And so I was like, so back tomorrow, and they're like, nah, we're good.
The Fisher dolly just hit a snag, and the whole system just totally flipped over. Not hearing any sort of shattering was great.
I was in charge of like separating all the audition people, bringing them to their different rooms for their like one-on-one auditions. I'm really not a fan of clowns, and every clown in the Valley showed up to this casting call.
I was a PA. It was a shoot on the beach, and they had to get a jet ski from the trailer it was on over to a place in the shot, and they didn't want to drag it on one of the ATVs we had because they didn't want to leave tire tracks. So instead they had 8 PAs pick it up and stagger it over, because they figured 8 sets of staggered footprints and 8 broken backs was fine in the shot.
We're in the desert with all our gear, and this giant like cloud comes by, and we're like, oh yeah, we've got about 2 hours. 30 minutes later it comes pouring rain, and me as a camera PA, I'm like, oh, cover the camera with my body until somebody comes out here with like some sort of protection. I'm just like stuck right here with the camera.
My first day ever on a film set, they're all cool with me, and they're like, hey, go get us a bunch of espressos. I'm making espressos, I got all the espressos lined up, and Harrison Ford walks into the trailer. Literally my hero is right here, and I my pants, and I'm like super nervous, super tongue-tied, and he looks at me and he goes, oh, you making espressos? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, would you want one? And he goes, sure. It's like, sweet, so I'm gonna make Han Solo a coffee. I hit the button, and all of a sudden, dude, I had seated the thing wrong, and it shoots coffee grounds everywhere. Luckily, he was like a little bit further back, and I'm just like, and I look at him, and he starts laughing. Then the crafty lady walks up onto the truck. She sees Harrison Ford, and she sees this huge mess that I had made, and she goes, what are you doing? What are you? And I'm just like, I'm sorry. And she goes, get out of here. I look at Harrison, and he just smiles at me, and he goes, and I'm just so dejected and disappointed that I could have made Harrison Ford an espresso, and I totally it up. That's my horror story.